Hello, scholars! I'm going to be helping you with your first grade skills lessons. My name is Miss James. Let's get started on lesson 13. Today's objectives are to identify letter-sound correspondences, write upper and lowercase letters, decode and spell CVC and CCVC words, and read the tricky words, all in STEM. We're going to get started by looking in our consonant code flipbook, and we've got some vowels to look at today too. What is the first sound we have here? It's definitely a consonant because it's written in red. This is the sound W. The sound W can be spelled with one W, as in wet. And when you take a look at the power bar, it goes pretty far across. That means it is very common. You'll see it a lot with the letter W. We have another spelling here too. That one is much less common. We'll learn about that later on. The next sound we have is a vowel. What is this vowel sound? This sound is ah. And we know it's a vowel because it's written in green up here. Remember, when you say vowel sounds, you're letting the air go. Ah. Is spelled with an E, as in pet. That power bar is pretty long. What does that mean? That means it is very common to spell with an E. One more vowel. What is this vowel sound? This vowel sound is and the sound is spelled with the letter U. You got it. As in but. This power bar is not very long, but it looks like it's still pretty often spelled with a U. Next, we're going to practice writing these letters that we've been talking about. First on this page, we have the letter W, or the sound W. You're going to start for the lowercase letter below the dotted line. Draw a diagonal line down and then up. Diagonal line down and then up. The capital W is just the same, except you're starting all the way at the top and going all the way down. Draw a diagonal line down and then up. Diagonal line down and then up. Make sure you're drawing those lines diagonal and not straight down. Next, we have the letter E, or the sound ah. For the lowercase e, you're going to start right in the middle here and draw a short line to the right and then almost a circle around, but don't make it touch. The capital E, you start all the way at the top with a long line down and then go back up with a short line to the right on the top, a short line to the right in the middle, and a short line to the right on the bottom. For the lowercase u, or sound you're going to make a little cup starting at the middle dotted line. And then come back down with a short line. For the capital U, you're going to make a big cup. Start all the way at the top, come all the way down and then all the way back up. Great job! Give yourself a little pat on the back. Next, we're going to look at some tricky words and spend some time practicing them. Do you know what this tricky word is? If you try to sound it out, you might think it says owl, owl, but that's not quite right. The A actually says all. The L says it's ooh sound, but there's two of them. Even though there's two L's, it still just says ooh. And the A says ah. All. Say it with me. All. Read the sentence with me. He has all of my books. I ate all of my beans. What's this tricky word again? That's right, all. Let's look at another tricky word. This one's a little bit bigger. Does anyone know what this might say? If you sound it out, you might think it says eh. But that doesn't quite make sense. In this word, the S says, the M says but the O and the E do something different. This word is some. The O and the E say instead of their normal sounds. So this word is some. Say it with me. Some. Very good. Repeat after me the sentence below. I would like some rice, please. What's this tricky word again? Some. Very good. Now, let's practice these tricky words just a little bit more. Let's read these phrases together. I want to hear you say them with me out loud. Number 1. Some dog. Number 2. All fish. Number 3. All kids. Number 4. All fun. Number 5. Some twigs. Number 6. All the dust. Number 7. All cats. Number 8. Some mugs. Number 9. Some dad. Number 10. To the jets. Number 11. Some men. Number 12. All of it. Number 13. Some webs. Number 14. All the kings. Did you notice they threw some other tricky words in there? Not just some and all. I saw the, to, of. It's really good to be able to recognize tricky words because then when you come across them, you know that this word is going to try to trick me, so I need to remember how to say it. For our last activity, we're going to find the tricky words in a sentence. Just like I said on the last page, it's good to be able to notice that something is a tricky word, so you know that it's not going to be something you can sound out. Don't let them trick you. For number 1, they circled 2 tricky words for us. Do you know what those 2 tricky words are? Is and a. They circled the 2 tricky words and then put a little outline for you to trace. Let's do that now. The tricky words you might find are written at the top of the page. Let's see what other tricky words they have for us. A, I, no, to, all, of, is. Let's look at number 2 and see what tricky words we can find. Tell me how many you see. I see 3 tricky words. If you saw 3 tricky words too, you're right. Let's circle those 3 tricky words. I found no, is, and a. After I circle them, I'm going to write them on the line. No, is, and a. We've got one more page to look at with some tricky word practice, and then we'll be all done for today. Let's review these tricky words again. A, I, no, to, all, of, is. Now let's see what we can find. How many tricky words do you see in number 3? I see 2 tricky words. If you see 2, great job. Let's circle those 2 tricky words. We have all and of. What about number 4? How many tricky words do you see in number 4? I see 2 tricky words. Let's circle those tricky words. A and of. Number 5. How many tricky words do you see in number 5? I see 2. Let's circle those 2 tricky words. I and 2. Good work! You guys have a great eye for finding tricky words. Keep up the fantastic reading. See you next time!